There is a loneliness that comes with the OCD recovery journey, with the OCD journey. And if you're going through OCD, you know that loneliness. You know that all too well. You know that hopelessness. You know that all too well. The loneliness with OCD comes, first of all, in not knowing that you have OCD. And also, when you're going through that struggle, noticing that other humans around you are not going through the same struggle. So you feel like you are doing something to yourself in your head. Maybe you are too weak. Maybe you are too faulty. Something like that are the phrases you're telling yourself in your head, which aren't true. This was very much like the early days of my journey, completely unaware I had OCD. Even at my worst with contamination OCD, 5, 6 hours a day in the shower because of the risks connected to harm, contamination, OCD fears. Washing and washing, 6 hours a day at 17 years old, not knowing that I was trying to escape something in my mind, an illusionary fear that I had conjured up, as humans do, and linked them together. That part was not me. That was the OCD that had caused that link and latched the anxiety. We come up with ideas like humans. We think things. At the time, I thought of the risks of certain diseases. And then I thought, what if I had it? And what if I passed it to my family? First, I was scared of me having it. Then it was the passing it to my family, which was the fear. When I went through that, I thought, how would I ever get out of that web? And I was not aware of what OCD was at the time at all. It wasn't until many years later that I actually met someone going through the mental OCD, the OCD where we can't see an outward compulsion so visibly, but there is outward compulsions, but we're just not aware of those. When I was going through that at the time, and I was very much stuck in that cycle, and I finally met people along the way, later on, I realized, oh my God, this isn't just me making this up and stupidly doing this to myself. This is a disorder. This is an anxiety cycle that other humans on the planet go through. And I realized at that point, oh my God, I really don't feel alone now. And I can't believe this is a thing, particularly with the fact that OCD picks things we don't want to tell anyone about. When I used to go into a session to get help in therapy, I would think there would be a van outside that would come and pick me up and take me away to prison for whatever fear that I confessed to during my session. So first of all, early on in the journey, I remember meeting a girl in a bar that I was trying to get the number of at the time. And she said, I can't give you my number because something might happen to you if we go home. I might attack you or something. And I thought, that's a bit strange. But on some level, I thought, it doesn't seem like that kind of person who'd do that. She's a very nice girl. There may be some kind of anxiety thing. Little did I know that I had an anxiety disorder at the time, but I thought that was something going on like that, even though to me, I didn't realize anything what was going on with me. And I just thought, this is how I think. So that was one of the first noticing of that situation. Then came meeting someone years later who was gone through exactly what I had with harm, OCD, and so on. That was like, I suddenly felt not hopeless at all. I suddenly felt in an incredible position because I thought, oh my God, how lucky I am to meet somebody now who's gone through exactly the same as me. In that moment, I realized, don't beat yourself up so hard, Robert. You were bound to get into a situation like this because you had no idea what was going on in your mind. So of course you were going to be stuck, locked, ruminating 24/7 in that chronic guilt anxiety cycle. And people in the past would have never had a chance to even know about OCD. How would they have known? And if they'd ever spoken of it in some eras, they might have been burnt at the stake. It was that bad, the understanding of OCD. So along that journey with OCD, it was incredibly lonely because I was taking a train, going to talk therapy sessions once a week. 17 years old, I was going there. I was going to sessions with a big book of notes, reeling off confession to the person I was working with all the time, just trying to get every single thing off my chest. Because I thought if I get it off my chest, then I will feel free. If I get it off my chest, then then I will get that long-term peace that I'd sometimes felt at moments where I'd confessed or got reassurance. But that was not the solution. That was obviously compulsive, but the person I was working with had no clue that that was what I was doing. And year in, year out, I went down that cycle, not getting relief in that way. And that was an incredibly lonely time of the journey. When you're with your family, you feel different. When you're with your friends, you feel different. And then the OCD is exasperating that. It's making that worse because it knows you don't want to feel that. And it turns up those feelings to make you feel even worse and even lonelier. The OCD recovery journey is equally lonely, hence why we have built a community to make people who are passionate about recovering bond with each other, learn from each other, and collectively educate each other, because then you don't feel lonely having a laugh, a joke along the way, making it fun, because we know what that journey feels like. We've lived that. We've been in that ourselves. And when you're going through it on your own, you feel different to the whole world. You feel separate from it. The same as if you're going through any disease, like if you have cancer and you've never met someone else with cancer, it helps so much meeting another human going through the same. Otherwise, all these conditions make you feel very different, like you're on a very separate road through life, a very separate path hidden away in your mind. Now, the most important thing to think about all of this is to realize that you definitely are not alone, but it feels like that. It feels very much like that. OCD is incredibly common. Chronic guilt, harm OCD, POCD, ROCD, existential OCD, sensory motor OCD. So many people have them. We see them every day. We've worked with thousands, tens of thousands of people with OCD over the last year upon year upon year, day upon day upon day. We are seeing that. You know, I've been working with OCD for around 13 to 14 years. And over the last decade, I'm never surprised on a daily basis by the things that I hear. People think, oh, Rob, you've never heard this before. It's rare that I've never heard this before. Sometimes someone does tell me something. Oh, I haven't heard that thing before, but it makes no difference to the chronic fear cycle. It's all the same. It's just latched in a different way. When we're going along that journey and we are watching these videos, listening to these audio clips, coming in for one-to-one sessions or coming to the webinars, everything that you think you are the first person to have ever thought, everything that you think where you are the only person stuck in the way that you are and feeling the strong physical sensations that you currently experience right now, you're not. You are not alone. You are one of many. And you are not broken. There's a fear cycle going on. And we are learning to bring that down bit by bit, one day at a time. You will get there. There is hope. You can recover. I've never met someone, it's like, where I look at them and I think, oh, I don't know why they're stuck. It's always as clear as day, but it just takes practice, persistence, and time to put it together to restore that baseline inner peace.